So let's get you to pass that Texas real estate license exam so that you can become a realtor. So today we're going to review a sample Texas exam, very similar to the actual exam. Now, questions are not identical. Realize that there are tons and tons of exams, okay? So this is including national and Texas state questions all in the same exam, okay? So they're not separated, they're all combined. All right, so let's get with it. And we're using the same book by the Metling family. So for those of you that are watching the replay, we do allow students to participate and type in their answers, so you can fast forward so that you can see the answer much quicker than what we do it on the actual live. Okay, so good morning, everybody. So here's a Texas practice exam, similar to what you would see on the real test. Now, on the real test, of course, in Texas, it's separated with the national first or the state, Texas state. You can do either one, first. Usually we start with the national and then the state. These here are combined, Texas, national, and Texas. So if you're looking for just Texas questions, this is not it. This has combined national and Texas state questions. They're not separated. Okay. So remember to participate during class, type your question number and the answer. And if you're watching on Facebook, I would ask that you go to the actual YouTube channel and support my channel by watching during the live. Okay, here we go. So a Texas practice exam has the following. These are 100 questions. We'll only do some in 3 or 4 sessions. So A farmer temporarily installs produce coolers in a leased farm stand in order to prevent spoilage. The coolers would be considered which of the following? A, trade fixtures that are real property. B, trade fixtures that are personal property, temporary real fixture property, or D, emblements. So if these fixtures belong to the farm or the vendor and they installed there temporarily, what would they be considered? Is it something they can take with them when they leave, or do they have to stay? Type your answer in the chat, the question number and the answer, please. So the answer here is B, trade fixtures that are personal property. They go with the lessee, okay, because they are only used for them, right? It is a produce coolers. Oh my goodness. My mouse moving, my fingers. So temporarily installed produce coolers, right, in a leased farm stand. Good morning, Ruth. So yes, S1B. Okay, number 2. Oops, I need to put my other phone on Do Not Disturb so we don't get little bling blings. Okay, number 2. Here, let me do that a little bit larger. Property can be converted from real property, okay, and from personal property to real property by means of which processes, respectively. So from real to personal and from personal to real, in that order. So when you select the answer, make sure you're converting first from real to personal and then personal to real. A, assemblage and plottage. B, application and dissolution. C, severance and affixing. Or D, planting and harvesting. Good morning. So I have two Ruths here today. Good morning, Ruth and Ruth. All right, so I have, so far I have C. And so anybody that just came in, we are doing a sample Texas exam for Texas only, even though it does have national questions, okay? They are mixed in, national and state. Yes, the answer is 2C. Severance, because it's going from real to personal. So they're severing it from the property, from the real property, and affixing because they're attaching it from personal property to real property, right? It could be a fence. It could be a permanently installed jacuzzi. It could be, certain things inside, like some bedrooms don't have a closet. So if you affix an armoire or personally built closet, okay, then it becomes affixed. It becomes part of the real property. Oh, forgot to show the answers. So the first one was S1B, number 2, S1, S2C. Okay, the highest form, number 3, of ownership interest one can acquire in real estate is the what? A, legal life estate. B, conventional life estate. C, defeasible simple estate. Or D, absolute fee simple estate. So be careful and look at the actual words: legal life, conventional, defeasible, absolute. So vocabulary here, lots of vocabulary. My internet went a little cuckoo there for a moment. Very good. Okay, number 4. Okay, the distinguishing feature of a defeasible fee simple estate, vocabulary, okay, is that A, it can be passed on to their heirs. B, it has no restrictions on use. C, the estate may revert to the grantor or heirs if the prescribed use changes. Or D, it is of unlimited duration. So what is the answer for number 4? A defeasible. So what kind of fee simple estate is that? Defeasible. So having issues with internet today for some reason. So you'll have to bear with me. There's nothing I can do about it, even though I have a high-speed internet. But I don't have the Google Fiber, okay, that is now available. So number 4, no, it is not D. Number 4 is actually C. A defeasible means that the owner grants it, conveys it to somebody else. That's the grantor. And they pass it on to someone else. However, if they don't use it according to the conditions that the owner prescribed, it'll go back, okay? It'll revert back. The estate reverts back to the grantor. So if someone is donating a property, conveying it for public use, for a park, for a school, hospital, anything like that, and it is not used that way, then it'll go back to the grantor or to a remainder person. Remember, defeasible, that it has a condition. So you remembered that. Oh, I almost wrote D. Well, that's good, Ruth. Yeah, so just that one little keyword, defeasible, right? That is vocabulary. That's why I stress vocabulary a lot. So some individuals ask, how can I pass my state or the national? Memorize, learn, practice a lot of vocabulary. All right, number 5. And everyone, keep in mind that there is like a 10-second delay, okay, with the internet whenever there is streaming. So I used to think it was me, but that is the way streaming, and streaming means sending the signal to multiple websites. So I use StreamYard, as you see the little duck. Well, no, you don't see it. StreamYard is the software that I use to stream. It's really easy to use. So someday later, you might be using it, or maybe you're already using it. Okay, so 4C. All right, number 5. Maria acquires a property from her uncle, Alfonso. When Maria dies, the estate will pass to Alfonso's other niece, Serena. The type of estate that Maria has in the property is okay, so the type of estate Maria has. So Maria has the estate, right? And acquires a property from her uncle, Alfonso. When Maria dies, the estate goes to Alfonso's other niece. The type of estate that Maria has in the property is A, conventional life estate, B, legal life estate, C, fee simple defeasible life estate, or D, tenancy by the entireties. So what type of an estate is it when it goes to another member of the family? And it could go to someone else too. It doesn't have to be a member of the family. Because it says she acquired it from her uncle. So she purchased it from her uncle, we're to assume. But yet on her estate, it'll say, unless on the acquiring of the property, it's stated that the day that she dies, okay, it'll go to a remainder person, and that remainder person is Serena. No, it is not D. Tenancy by the entireties is one of the 4 types of ownership, okay? And tenancy by the entirety is for married individuals, okay? This case has nothing to do with that type of ownership. Remember, there's 4 different types of ownership: tenancy by the entirety, married couples; joint tenancy for 2 or more that have to meet TTIP, time, title, interest, possession; tenancy in common; and severalty. Okay, so it's not that. Yes, the answer is A. Very good for changing the answer. Conventional life estate. So what does this tell me? It tells me that you must go back and learn your vocabulary or memorize it. The types of estates and the types of ownership. 2 different things. All right, so before that, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Okay, number 6. Do you get that, Ruth? The difference between estate and types of ownerships. There's quite a few different types of estates, but there's only 4 types of ownership, okay? So go back and review your vocabulary. It would be good if you do it after the class, okay? So that you refresh your mind. Okay, S6. One difference between cooperative estate and a condominium estate is that a condominium owner owns a unit or airspace, whereas the co-op owner owns a proprietary lease. B, a condominium sale adversely affects other unit owners. C, the co-op owner, good morning, Cindy, owns stock and a freehold real estate interest, whereas the condominium owner simply owns the proprietary lease. D, the condominium owner owns the common elements in the airspace, whereas the co-op owner only owns the apartment. So the difference between cooperative estate and a condominium. So what's a condominium? It's almost similar to a home, right? However, you don't own the grounds. And well, I'm not going to say any more until I get an answer. All right, so far I have 6A. Anybody else? And yes, the answer is 6A. Very good. A condominium owner owns a unit of airspace. So in a building, they own the inside of that condo, where a co-op owns a proprietary lease. It's a cooperation and has, share owners, and they end up leasing proprietarily because they're members of a cooperation. So very good. All right, number 7. Moving right along. Good. Who are the essential parties involved in estate in trust? An estate in trust. Okay. Keyword, trust. Essential parties. A, owner, trustor, and lawyer. B, owner, trustor, and trustee. C, trustee, title company, and beneficiary. Or D, trustor, trustee, and beneficiary. So again, what is part of a trust? How many individuals are typically in a trust? I mean, all the answers have 3, and so there are 3. Anyone else? There are several of you on here, so type your answer on the chatty chat. Yes, the answer is S7D. Very good. Trustor, trustee, and beneficiary. So type in the chat, who is the trustor, who is the trustee, and who is the beneficiary. Type that in the chat. Hey, Lisbeth. Nice to see you. So let me ask a direct question. Who is the trustor? Who is the trustor? No. Well, yes. The trustor is the borrower. They are the owner. okay, or the grantor. They're the borrower because they got the loan. You know, if they ask you a question, they're probably going to want you to say the grantor. And let's see. So the trustee, no, is not the beneficiary. So the trustee is who the beneficiary entrusts to hold on to the title and the deed of trust. Okay, they're the ones that will proceed with the instructions of the deed of trust in case a borrower or the grantor defaults on that loan. Okay, so the trustor is considered, yes, the giver, right? They're giving back a collateral, right? The deed of trust. And the trustor, yes, is the giver, correct. The trustee and the trustee and the lender, right? The lender is the beneficiary. That is correct. So very good. Trustor is the grantor, the borrower. Trustee, it could typically an attorney or a company that the beneficiary assigns to hold on to the trustee. Typically, it's an attorney, right? Because they're dealing with legal documents. And the beneficiary is the lender. Very good. All right. Awesome. Well, let's see if... No, that's not going to work. It's not as bold, but at least it's all on one page. All right, number 8. A condominium owner enjoys, so a condominium owner enjoys a share in an association that owns one's apartment. B, tenancy and common interest in airspace and common area of the property. C, fee simple ownership of the airspace in a unit and an undivided share of the entire property's common area. Or D, fee simple ownership of a pro rata share of the entire property. So a condominium owner, what do they own and get to use? Type your answer in the chat. Okay, so far I have C. C, okay, going on, keep going. And C, okay, my 3 participators, Lisbeth, Ruth, and Cindy. Yes, the answer is C, a fee simple ownership of the airspace, right? That's inside the unit, and an undivided share of the entire property's common areas. Anything outside is common. I'll give you an example. Okay, I live in a condominium, gated condominium subdivision. And some individuals have lived here over 30 years or almost shortly after it was built. Hi, Anai. And sometimes they think they own the space outside because some buildings, okay, have a little bit of landscaping outside. They can put their own plants, you know, in addition to those that are provided by the condominium association. And or they might replace the grass around it that people walk around, and they say, well, that's mine. Well, it's not. It belongs to everyone. Okay. And we have 3 pools, and some individuals say, well, they should go to their pool. The first one is their pool. This one in the back is ours. Wrong. It belongs to everyone, right? I mean, yes, they were designed so they could be used by the individuals on the first building, second building, third building, or whatever. However, no, they can own all the areas. any changes that happen, or they want to put new plants, they've got to make sure and ask the HOA to make sure that there aren't any electrical wiring or plumbing that they're going to interfere with. So there are rules. And my daughter says, yeah, Lillie likes to break rules, certain rules, okay? Not all. So the answer is C, okay? Did you understand that, Anai? The D says that the factor that makes it wrong is ownership of a pro rata share. And so that is not it. It's an undivided share, okay, of the entire properties. It's not prorated, okay? It's undivided of the whole community outdoors, okay? The owner of that airspace, of that condominium, gets to share it all. And working with condominiums, when you're working with a buyer with condominium, there's a lot of paperwork that goes along with it. And so it's not as straightforward as a privately owned residence, because there's a lot of HOA documents, rules, and restrictions that have to be followed, and things you can or can't do. So remember that when you start doing real business. All right, number 9. With various types of junior liens, the order of payment priority is generally established according to, okay, so there's a priority of liens. And why is that important? In case one defaults and they have to get foreclosed, they go in priority order, okay? And there's one very important one that is always first, but I'm not going to say. So A, the date of recordation. B, what form of tax is in question? C, the order of disbursement. Or D, whether the lien was subordinated. So there's, yes, the order of recordation is important. However, there's always one that has to be paid first. Ooh, I'm sorry. I actually said the answer. So yes, the answer is A. I already said it. So it's the date of recordation. In what order were they recorded? However, property taxes are always paid first. So if a borrower defaults and the lender is foreclosing, or a private owner is foreclosing, the taxes have to be paid first, and then the first lien, which is the major loan, the primary loan. So very good for those of you that typed number A, letter A. And so you're coming into a market that there's going to be some foreclosures, okay? And more for sell by owners and more expired. So lots of different opportunities to get sellers, okay, and buyers in this market. So you may afterwards, when you have to do your 90 hours, you might consider taking some hours on foreclosure, short sales, working with those types of sellers, and working with buyers. All right, number 10. Gee, that's not going to work. All right, I'm going to go back to the bold lettering. I like the bold. Come on. All right, number 10. What is a lien theory state in contrast to a title theory state? Ooh, we did this one on Wednesday. A state in which liens are given priority over other encumbrances. B, a state in which a mortgage retains title to the property when a mortgage lien is created. C, a state in which the holder of a mortgage lien receives title to the mortgage property until the debt is satisfied. Or D, a state in which liens must be recorded to be enforceable. So what is a lien theory state in contrast to a title theory state? Type your answer in the chat. So far I've got 10B. Anybody else? So there's almost 50%, but not quite, of theory states and, title theory states and lien theory states. The answer is actually B, a state in which the mortgagor, and who's the mortgagor? The borrower, the person that just bought the property, retains title to the property when a mortgage lien is created. So those are in mortgage states. Texas is a title theory state where the holder of the mortgage lien is the lender, okay, receives the title to the mortgage property. So the mortgagee keeps the lien, the title, on a title theory state, but in a lien theory state, the mortgagor retains title of the property when the mortgage lien is created. All right, did y'all get that? So let me say, so in a lien theory state, loss gives a lender on a mortgage property equitable title rather than legal title. So in the mortgage, in a lien theory state, the borrower, okay, the mortgagor actually has legal title with the lien theory state. The mortgagor in the lien theory state retains legal title. So that is B, a state in which a mortgagor retains the title to the property when a mortgage lien is created. C says a state in which the holder of a mortgage lien, that's the lender, okay, receives the title. And so that's not it. That would be in a deed of trust, right? Where we have a deed of trust in the state of Texas, and the trustee holds on to the title, right? So that's a title theory state. We have a trustor, a trustee, and a beneficiary. Okay, so that's how those tie in together. So title theory state, Texas has a deed of trustee state where the trustee holds on to the title. That means the lender keeps the title, even though it's in the hands of the trustee. But the trustee is the person that the lender entrusts. Number 11. A property owner has an easement appurtenant. Easement appurtenant. Vocabularies. And the other one also was vocabularies. Trustor, trustee, lien title. Lien theory, title theory. So all of those are vocabularies. So if you're missing those questions, time to go back and memorize those vocabulary, those words. So a property owner has an easement appurtenant on her property. One day the property is sold to another party who is opposed to the easement. Following the closing, this particular form of easement is A, terminate, B, transfers with the property, C, transfers with the owner to a new property, D, becomes a license of the property. So property owner has an easement appurtenant on her property. Hi, El Rain. Thanks for joining us. So appurtenant means it's attached to the property, right? Goes with the property. So the answer is B. It transfers with the property. Very good. So I think this is your first time, right, El Rain? I don't remember that name. So welcome to the group. Welcome to our live webinar. So we are doing Texas real estate exam, similar to what an actual exam would be like, except the actual exam separates the questions with national and then Texas. Here they are mixed. So it's going to have national and Texas state questions all mixed in. All right, number 12. What fundamental legal purpose is fulfilled by title records? Fundamental legal purpose fulfilled by title records. A, keeping the county apprised of tax payments. B, preventing identity theft. C, giving constructive notice of one's rights and interest in the property. Or D, assembling all relevant documents in a single space. So the legal purpose, the fundamental legal purpose is fulfilled by title records. It is not D. It is actually C. Giving constructive notice to one's rights and interest in the property. So the legal purpose of recording documents, okay, in the county courts, and that's by title records, right? In the county courts or the county clerk court, is to give constructive notice, let the whole world know, okay, who owns that property, the rights and interests, how they own it, what rights do they have. So when a warranty deed is recorded and the deed of trust is recorded, okay, the whole world, that is constructive notice. It's available to anyone to see in the title records, or if they get publicized in the newspaper when somebody goes through a divorce, right? It's constructive notice. They're recorded. So that is the legal purpose. They get recorded. It's fulfilled by title records. Okay, so let me see here. Ms. Reno, I follow you on Facebook, but this is my first time on YouTube. Oh, great. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're watching on YouTube because that helps me a lot. And you get to participate here. I mean, you can participate on Facebook, but this is actually an easier place to be on. So I took a year off due to work and family. So I'm getting back into it. Awesome. Welcome back. That's great. So then, I was saying I don't recognize you on YouTube, but on Facebook, I have almost 1,500 people or something like that. So did I type answer on both places? Yes, I did. So 12C, giving constructive notice. And what is that? Constructive notice, it's recorded, it's public to everyone. Actual notice, it's when it's handed to you, right? Here, I'm letting you know. All right, that's actual notice. Constructive notice, you're not letting the person directly know, but it's made available to the public by being recorded and publicized. Number 13, chain of title. What is chain of title? Okay, a chain title, ownership, right? So A, the list of all parties who have ever owned real estate. B, the bundle of rights linked to the recorded title to a parcel. A chronology of successive owners of record of a parcel of real estate. Or D, involuntary conveyance of title by statutory rules of descent. No, it is not A. It almost seems like it would be A. There's a difference between a list of all parties and a chronological order of successive owners. That's what it is. It's a chronological order, chronology of successive owners. If you just list all the parties, we don't know when they bought it, okay? And so it starts from the earliest owner and then goes back, depending on what type of title search they're doing it. If they're going to issue a special warranty, then that seller is only warranting the ownership of while they had it. So all the other history, they're not going to warrant because they don't know about it. And a full title search, a more general title search will do the whole history in order of ownership. Okay. Recent, next. That is a huge difference. So things have to be done in order, right? When were they recorded? Okay, think of that also. So gotta be C, yes. C, we. So did you get that, Cindy? Yeah, C. I like that. C. All right, good. Number 14. Which of the following provides the strongest evidence of marketable title? A, general warranty deed. B, a title certificate. C, title insurance. Or D, an attorney's opinion. So which of the following provides the strongest evidence of marketable title? So disregard some of those comments that are posted on YouTube, okay? Anyone can support whoever they want, okay? And just don't come and post your comments on something that doesn't apply. If you want everyone to accept you, then accept everyone else. All right. So let's see. C. Yes, the answer is C. Oh, you were right, El Rain, the first time. It's title insurance, right? Because they're doing a title search, right? So what was the other one says? A chronology. So what is the chain of title? So when the title company does a title search, that shows all the history of the property, who owned it and whether there's any deeds, any judgments, anything attached to that property, any easements. So the title insurance, okay, is strongest evidence of marketable title. So when an individual writes a contract to purchase, we as the realtor representing them will highly recommend that they request a title search, okay, a title commitment, so that the title company will do a search on the chronology of it, anything that's attached to it, any liens, okay, any encumbrances. So it can be cleared before signing and paying for it. So S14, did I type the answer? No. S14C, title insurance. Very good. So you were right, Rain. Hey, go with your gut feeling. Even though some individuals don't believe in gut feeling, it does work. It's your instinct, okay? Like animals have a very natural instinct. They're very attached to nature. And so some of us have a very good instinct or a very good gut feeling. Okay, it's going to have to be smaller. All right, number 15. What is the difference between a warranty deed and title insurance? Oh, a warranty deed is when the grantor, hi Delia, thanks for joining, or Delta. A warranty deed, okay, is proof of ownership and transferring from a grantor to a grantee. So the deed is recorded. Title insurance is not recorded. So the deed then gives evidence, constructive evidence, when it's recorded. So the deed, the seller signs the deed saying, hey, I transfer it to this buyer. Just like when you buy a car and you go to the DMV, if you're buying a used car from somebody else, okay, and you're paying cash for it, they have to sign the title to your car. So that is a title, okay? But here it is a warranty deed. The title in insurance is insurance like life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, that this research that the title did on the history of that property and whether anything that is attached to it or is encumbered to it has been shown, okay, in their title search. And the borrower and the seller get a copy of that. And that's important for the borrower because they want to make sure they're buying a property that's free and clear. The warranty deed doesn't let them know that it's totally free and clear. If there's a loan, it'll say warranty deed with a vendor's lien. And a general warranty deed has a broader, is tied to a wide title search. So it searches the whole history of the property. Special warranty deed searches just the current owner only is warranting their ownership. A lot of that is from lenders when they foreclose. Okay. So title insurance is a policy to protect the buyer that the search that the title company did on whether that owner had a right to sell that property. They have marketable title. Marketable title is that they can sell that property. They own it. It's free and clear. If it's not free and clear, it's going to be taken care of during the closing process. Okay. And the title company is the one, and the escrow officer are the ones that make sure on that. Yes, you definitely need to learn to go with yours. Okay. So do you understand that, Delta? So a warranty deed, okay, it's a security document on the property that the owner is conveying to a borrower. So only the grantor conveys it. And it has to have, they have to have marketable title. So how do they find out if it's a marketable title? They do a title search. Not they, but the title company attorneys do a title search. And that's where you search the history of the property. Because and so there's general warranty and there is special warranty. The title search, okay, then provides an insurance policy which has a history of that property, okay, or the title commitment does. It's a summary of what was found about that particular property and its owners. You're welcome. All right, so where were we? Going on number 15. Okay. All right, number 15. A store owner enters into a lease that charges per square foot rent. Oh, that charges rent per square foot, a common area fee, and a portion of the store owner's income, gross income from the property. This kind of lease is a triple charge or triple net lease, A, proprietor's lease, C, percentage lease, or D, retailer's gross lease. So the store owner enters in a lease that charges rent per square foot, a common area fee, and a portion of the store owner's gross income. So what kind of a lease is it? According to the answers, okay? Triple charge or triple net lease, proprietors or percentage lease, or retailer's gross lease. Oh my gosh, I was typing the wrong answer. Okay, the answer here is a percentage lease. Okay, a percentage lease, because the store owners and a portion of the store owner's gross income. Okay. Most properties are rented by a price per square foot, like $1 per square foot in some areas. So that's an example. Okay. And common areas or anything else around it. Okay, so you could think, all right, it's a net lease, it's a triple net lease, but the actual definition of a triple net lease is there could be paying property taxes, they could be paying insurance, they could be repairing all the repairs and utilities. Okay, so here the main thing is that they're paying a portion of their gross income. So depending on what kind of income they're making, they might pay more or they might pay less. So that's a percentage. So percentage lease allows the landlord to share in the income generated by the use of the property. A tenant pays a percentage rent on an amount of rent equal to a percentage of the tenant's periodic gross sales. Yes, so portion was the key word. And a portion of the store's gross income. Okay, so portion and gross income of the store owner, the tenant, the lessee. Go back and study what triple charge. Let's see, what did everybody answer? D, a retailer's gross lease. No. So this has to do with the store owner's gross income, okay? Not the type of lease that the store owner, the store owner enters in a lease. I'm sorry, the store owner is the lessee, okay? Not the property owner. So retailer's gross lease, okay, is different. So go and review your vocabulary. All right, number 16. Okay, number 16. An owner leases a property to a business in exchange for rent. The tenant is required to pay all operating expenses as well. This is an example of a A, proprietary lease, B, percentage lease, C, gross lease, or D, net lease. So tenant is required to pay all operating expenses. So what are all operating expenses? I made a comment of it just a bit ago. Type your answer in the chat. So of course, owner's going to lease in exchange for rent. That's typically how it is, right? However, sometimes owners want everything paid. And so what does that make it? Yes, that makes it a net lease. Okay, they're paying all operating expenses. Property insurance, property taxes, maintenance, utilities, and rent. You know, it could be something that it's a major, corporation, a major business, and they want everything taken care of because it's going to fluctuate depending on how the business is. And so if the rent isn't enough, it's like, let's say you want to rent your property, your home. You might say, okay, all the utilities are included in the price of the rent. Okay, which I was going to do about a year ago, okay, on my property, which means it includes the utilities and outside maintenance, like the landscaping. However, utilities have gone up. The water bill went up, the electricity bill went up. So that wouldn't be a good thing right now. So a flat rent and the tenant pays all the utilities. So that's kind of similar to go. Yes, Cindy, go over leases. Types of leases. And then there's different net leases. Right here, they just did it general, but there's single net, double net, and triple net leases. And sometimes they may ask, they may say, oh, okay, it's a triple net lease, or it's a double net lease, or net lease. All right, number 18. A county or municipal authority usually grants a certification of occupancy for new construction only after A, all contractors' work has been inspected, B, all work has been completed for at least 60 days, C, the construction conforms to building codes, or D, the tax assessor has valued the improvement. Oh, did I miss a question? I did. I skipped 17. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'll go back to it. Okay, so what's the answer? All right, well, let's go back to 17, okay? All right, number 17. A lease automatically terminates under which of the following circumstances? So automatically terminates under which circumstance? A, the tenant fails to pay rent. B, the lease property is foreclosed. C, the tenant goes out of business. Or D, the landlord cancels the lease. No, it is not A. If you're answering D, I went back to to 17. So let's answer 17 since I made a boo-boo and skipped. So I'll give you a little bit longer because you were focusing on 18 and there is a delay. So So the lease automatically terminates under what condition? Tenant fails to pay rent, the property is foreclosed, tenant goes out of business, or landlord cancels the lease. It's a general question, right? It doesn't say whether it's commercial or residential. The answer is, okay, here come some of the answers. The answer is actually B. Okay. Landlord cannot cancel a lease. Okay. To where it automatically terminates. Automatically terminates what would be a foreclosure. When a bank takes over the property, it automatically terminates the lease. In that situation, they have priority. And so they may still have to evict the tenant, but because now it terminated automatically when the property is sold by a lender. So the new buyer will have to be the one that evicts them, if the lender doesn't do it. However, lenders have a lot of control, okay? And yes, they can force people out much quicker than an individual. So the leased property is foreclosed. Not when a tenant fails. The landlord still has to follow the eviction process. Landlord cancels the lease? No, they have to follow the eviction process. They can't just cancel it. I hate that thing that comes up. I should say I dislike. Hate is a harsh word. All right, number 20. Number 18. Oh my gosh. A county of municipal authority usually grants a certificate of occupancy for new construction only after, some of you had answered already, but I'll give you another attempt. A, all contractors' work has been inspected. B, all work has been completed for at least 60 days. C, the construction conforms to the building codes. Or D, the tax assessor has valued the improvements. There is, no, it is not A. Think about it. Lots of laughs. Yeah, happy Saturday. I know, man. I'm all over the place. I got to go show property this afternoon and contact some for sale by owners. So, showed property last night, then went to dinner at Olive Garden. Yes, the answer is C. Okay. The construction conforms to building codes. Okay. It's not because all the contractor's work has been completed. What if it was not a very reputable contractor and they bypassed a lot of things, did a lot of shortcuts, and didn't have the electrical inspected, the plumbing inspected, didn't have the design inspected, right? Get permits and all that. Oh my gosh, it'll be terrible. So certificate of occupancy, there's a lot of different steps that have to go, but it has to conform to building codes. So, the first process is to go get a building permit and present the architectural design of the construction or a hand-done design that is acceptable by the planning department. And then at different stages, the city inspector comes to inspect the property. And the contractors have to be licensed. And I'm sorry, the subcontractors like electrical, plumbing, gas, that type of thing have to be licensed. In certain states, contractors are not required to have contractor licenses, which is really interesting. Ooh, yes. I love Olive Garden. Their salad and those long little breads. Oh my gosh. All right, number 19. Keep me on my toes, y'all. You're doing good about that. So good. So let's see. Lisbeth, Rain, did C, Delta, you did A. Yeah, it's not all the contractors' work being inspected. Okay. It's the whole meeting the construction building codes. Okay. So who inspected it? I'm not sure, right? The city or municipal authority, okay, grants a certificate of occupancy for new construction only after contractor's work has been inspected. Well, yes, however, first meet all the building codes. Okay. All right. Number 19. Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work. So if I knew it, why did I do it? All right, number 19. A property owner is precluded by deed restriction from developing a 30-foot boat dock. So a property owner is precluded by deed restriction, so they cannot develop a 30-foot boat dock. The limitation prompts the owner to sell to another party. The new owner, A, is free to build the dock since the next door neighbor built a similar dock 2 weeks later. B, so keywords, precluded by deed restrictions. Okay. B, takes title subject to the same restriction. C, can build the dock with special permission from the zoning board. Or D, may build since the restriction is extinguished by the sale. Just in case I didn't show 18. Okay, so S19. All right, so far I've got B. Give you a little bit more time. Yes, the answer is B. Takes title subject to the same restrictions, right? The restrictions go with the property. Okay, they're attached to the property because they are deed restrictions that are stricter than actually the city or the county, right? First, it's the city and county restrictions, and then the builders or subdivision could have tighter restrictions. So those preclude. Number 20. Oh, 20 is longer. All right. All right, number 20. Oh, wow, that looks small. Okay, that's a little better. All right, number 20. Emily sells Ricole, a property containing a deed condition. The condition stipulates that the forested portion of the property must never be raised for development. In other words, you can't, cut down all the lumber, all the trees. So it's got a deed restriction. Okay. 3 months later, Ricole proceeds to harvest the trees and turn the area into an executive golf course. What course, if any, does Emily have under the deed restriction? A, she has the right to repossess the property because the grantee has violated the condition. B, the condition has ceased to apply because she allowed the violation to continue for a certain period of time. Or C, she can claim the proceeds from the harvested trees. Or D, she can force Reichhold to sell the property to a new owner who agrees to comply with the condition. So remember, sold the property with a deed restriction. Kind of like a defeasible fee simple estate. So far I have A. Yes, and let's see, all of you are correct. The answer is A. Because it had a deed restriction and the person violated it by, harvesting the trees, she has the right to repossess the property because the grantee has violated the condition. Very good. Number 21. What is the essential purpose of legal description of real property? Legal description of real property. What is its purpose? A, to create a consistent, unchanging standard for uniquely locating a property. B, to enable courts and attorneys to calculate property size accurately. C, to comply with common law for real property. Or D, to eliminate cumbersome meets and bounds descriptions. So what is legal description's purpose? For real property, okay? For real property. Gotta make sure to specify that, not personal property. All right, so far we've got A. Anyone else? Well, then stay with it, Cindy. Yes, the answer is A. Cindy says, want to say A. Type A, say A. Yes, to create a consistent, unchanging standard for uniquely locating a property. Every property has a unique legal description. And you'll see it in the deed, the title search, deed of trust. You'll see it everywhere on the court records. When you go to the court and want to request information on a particular property, take the legal description instead of just the address, because sometimes the addresses could be typed wrong, but legal descriptions are repeated over and over and over. And that is how a property is identified and is consistent on all records. It's included in contracts and listing agreements, any document of a particular property. It's like us, right? Each one of us is unique. Although we go by name, date of birth, the time we were born, which I don't remember. So it is unique to that property. All right, number 22. Which of the following characterizes meets and bounds descriptions? A, they use medians and baselines. B, they identify an enclosed area beginning and ending at the same point. C, they use lot and block numbers. Or D, they incorporate elevation into the description. Meets and bounds. Boundaries and meet. Okay, so far we've got B and B. Anybody else? And yes, all of you are correct. The answer is B. They identify an enclosed area, beginning and ending at the same point. So they use markers. It could be metal stakes. It could be wooden stakes. It could be flags. And that is a point of identification of where it starts. And then they put one on every corner. If the property is curved, right, then they have percentages that they include in the meets and bounds descriptions by degrees. But yes, it starts at one point and ends at the same point. Very good. Number 23. A buyer agrees to all terms of seller's offer except the length of time for a contingency to procure financing. Okay, to get financing. The buyer extends the financing period in the offer by 1 week, signs the form, and mails it back to the seller. At this point, the seller's offer is what? A, is void. B, becomes an executory contract. C, becomes a counter offer. Or D, has been accepted since the modification was a contingency. So it says the buyer agrees to all the terms except, okay, the financing period, okay, extending it by 1 week. So what happens to the seller's contract or the seller's offer? Because the seller accepted. So there's been different counter offers going back and forth, right? So be very careful. So buyer agrees to all the terms of a seller's offer except for the time. So they change something to the contract, okay, to the offer. So what happened to the initial seller's offer when the seller countered? It is now void. Yes, it is void, right? Because now we have a new offer because something changed from the prior. So the buyer presented an offer, okay, and the seller had countered, and then the buyer countered, and then seller accepted. Oh, I'm sorry. So the buyer sent an offer, seller countered, and then buyer countered again. That's basically what's happening, okay? Because it says the seller's offer accept. So the seller, who makes an offer first? Typically, it's the buyer, right? And a contract. And we present it to the seller. If the seller doesn't like it, doesn't like something, they change it. Well, now the buyer can either accept it or not. So whenever the seller changes it, now it's a new offer, right? The old one has been void because something changed. So it's a counter offer, but the old one is considered void. We now have a new offer. So S23A is the answer. Very good. Y'all did good there. A. Make sure we don't miss it. All right, number 24. Real estate contracts that are not personal service contracts. Oops, let me get rid of all this stuff here. So real estate contracts that are not personal service contracts. A, may be assigned. B, are not assignable. C, must be in writing. Or D, are exempt from the statute of frauds. So real estate contracts, they're not personal service contracts like a home warranty or AC service contract or exterminators contracts. No, it is not C. Because what if it's a lease for less than a year? That's considered a contract. But which statement is true? The answer is A. They may be assigned. So may doesn't mean they have to be assigned, but they may be assigned to someone else. So real estate contracts that are not a personal service contract, right? A personal service is we sign an agreement with the vendor. Okay, those are usually not transferred over. A home warranty may be allowed to be transferred over, usually are, but not all other contracts are. So those are personal services. So, but a real estate contract may be assigned. Those are allowed to be assigned in the state of Texas. And I think in maybe most states, but I can't quote that. I mean, yes, contracts must, the key word where it says must, be very careful with those little words because not all contracts must be in writing. Remember, a lease less than a year doesn't have to be in writing. In order to be enforceable, we want them in writing. Okay, so keyword must is not a good word. When you have answers like this, may, are, must might be the wrong answer. Okay, I'm not saying always. Sometimes it'll be certain things will be a must. Like, let's see, a realtor, according to Trek, a realtor must use the brokerage name on a sign on marketing. That's a must. Okay, but not here. The lease agreement doesn't have to be in writing. So not all contracts are a must. Got it? However, they may be assigned. The buyer that put the contract may want to assign it, but they don't have to. But they have that choice. Got it, Cindy? Because I think somebody had answered C. I think it was for 24. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So I guess everybody answered it correct for 24. No, initially you had answered C. So good. You changed your answer. Very good. All right. Number 25. I'm going to make it a little larger. Ooh. Yeah, I like large, but that didn't work. Okay. Number 25. Yes, then changed it. Good job. Okay, so I usually say do not change your answers, right? Because most of the time we'll get them wrong. Okay. However, in some cases, yes. So it depends. So S25, which of the following contracts must be in writing to be enforceable? A parole contract. B, a 6-month lease. C, a 2-year lease. Or D, an executory contract. All right, so far we have C. Which one must be in writing? Yes, very good. A 2-year lease. Right? Very good. Yes, a 2-year lease must. Okay, keyword must be in writing. Okay, because a parole contract, not dealing with real estate, right? And a 6-month lease, we just talked about that, right? And an executory contract, it's a type of long-term contract that resembles a rent-to-own arrangement. So the buyer lives on the property but does not own it until the end of the contract. So that could be a lease option to buy. It hasn't been officially been executed. It still needs to be completed. So once it closes or once they make a decision, then it's executed. Executory means it's in the process. All right. Okay, so we've been doing this for an hour and a half for 25 questions. Okay, on the test, similar to the Texas real estate exam. So we will continue until we finish 100 questions. So probably in 3 more sessions, unless I go a little bit faster and make more questions right in one session. However, if I do that, I don't give you an opportunity to answer. However, if you all would like me to do that sometimes, do it much faster and not give you time to answer, let me know. I will do that. And I can just read the question and then the answer and maybe explain it a little bit and then move on to the next one. Because I do listen and pay attention to your feedback. So feedback is always good, okay? Or is recommended, all right? And I will review it and determine whether to do it or not. So y'all, if this is the first time that you're on my YouTube channel, hey, remember, you know what to do. Tap that subscribe button, click that little bell so that you're the first to get notified, and give me a thumbs up, send me some love, show me some support. When you watch my videos or the webinars on YouTube, it gives me a lot more credit on YouTube, okay? And YouTube will promote my channel more, and that's how you can support me. All right. And also I am a realtor in the San Antonio and Rio Grande Valley. Rio Grande Valley, I predominantly help sellers. I will refer any buyers to other realtors. In San Antonio, I do both sellers and buyers. So whenever you're ready to select a broker, let's talk about the broker that I'm with, a virtual company, a cloud-based company, no brick and mortar office. Okay, you work out of your home and you meet with the public, out in the world. Let's talk about it. My company is eXp Realty, and I am looking for realtors to join me and my team. Okay, we're the dream team. We're not an official sales team where you pay us an extra commission. Okay, so you select a broker. Remember to interview different brokers to see which one matches you. You might want to go to an office and interact with people there, and it's close to your home. Then that might be the best fit for you. A virtual company is not the best fit for everybody. However, we're growing tremendously because nowadays you buy so many things on Amazon, right? Online, you order food and it gets delivered. You don't even go out of your house. However, in this business, we can even do listings and presentations with sellers online, on Zoom or something like this, and be able to see each other. So a lot of business is done online. So it's excellent for home-based businesses that want to stay at home with the children, be able to raise them, be there. That's very important. So many companies now are doing home-based businesses, not just real estate. So, we're moving with the world of technology and availability of flexibility to employees and independent contractors, because that's what we are, right? Independent contractors. All right. So thank you so much for attending, says El Rain. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to go and have an amazing day. Woohoo! I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. Love you all. Until next time, Monday. Hey, have a nice 3-day weekend. Until next time, although realtors continue working, okay? Yes, we can take the weekend off or Monday, a holiday. However, that's when people go out and buy or sell, right? And so we work. We don't have to. Eventually, there's other things we can do. Until next time, talk to y'all later. Catch you later.